Let's jump to this next story from the Daily Mail. The ICE agent who shot woman dead is, quote, not expected to face criminal charges as FBI zeroes in on victims' history of Trump baiting. In fact, it looks like the feds are actually going after ICE Watch and this woman's network. They're not treating the ICE agent as the perpetrator of a crime. They're treating the woman as the perpetrator of the crime. Why? Well, she did commit 2 crimes. Felony obstruction and evading arrest, which are crimes. We then have this from Mediaite. Tom Homan says ICE agent who shot Renee Good is in hiding. He's also raised, I believe, around $700,000. It's been raised on his behalf. So I can't say I'm surprised. I said this. We had this discussion in this debate. The federal government is not going to allow this guy to be prosecuted because if they do, Trump may as well resign right now. His agenda will be over. He'll be abandoned by his voters and law enforcement. So what happens next then? Are we going to get a spring and summer of love because the left is going to be like, no justice, no peace?
They sent in, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
They sent in 1,000 more troops to Minneapolis after this whole thing happened. And I will say, as someone who is looking for Vance to run or whatever, immigration is one of the top issues on our side, on the Trump voters and everything. And if they back down from this is going to be very bad for them.
Yeah.
Because we care about this and we're tired. The George Floyd stuff, we just had to sit there and take it. And we don't want to have to sit here and take this too and see, because I mean, and we all saw the video, It is what it is, but that's my little rant.
Well, yeah, I think the Trump admin, they've learned their lessons from 2020. And they understand that right now in Minneapolis, this is where they set the tone for the next 3 years. Is like, hey, this is where this is in the minds of leftists where they're going to figure out if they're allowed to operate with impunity or not. And so that's why, and I think the Trump admin's making the correct moves thus far, but like you really got to communicate to the people. Like it's one thing flooding the DHS agents again and ensure that this ICE agent isn't charged, but you need to also communicate that to the American people. You need everyone to understand what time it is. And so I'm total agreement, but it's like, yeah, this is really going to make or break.
It's
the next
9/16.
3 years.
It's 9/16.
What time it is?
Just one.
Everyone needs to know.
Right.
That's why everyone
It's
knows.
actually 21/17.
21,
I'm using
17.
military time.
European over here.
Because I'm a LARPer.
When I saw that first video, I was like, oh, so if a cop puts his hand on my hood and I touch my gas pedal, he can shoot me. But then I saw the second.
If a cop is standing in front of your car and you accelerate the vehicle, they will try to stop you.
I know.
You're actually
I know.
right.
What if
Yeah,
they have no
that's
right?
right.
What if they are illegally stopping me? It's like it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
How do you?
Doesn't matter.
So
If
explain.
any man with a gun has his hand on your hood, well, then I was like,
This
what
is-
if it's a
this is-
jihadi? Then you're like, maybe I should.
This is
drive
what they're
away.
doing. They've created laws in their own brains.
Yeah.
Federal agents. This is going to be a shock to liberals, and they're going to say, "No, it's not true. It can't be true. It's impossible." Federal agents can enforce federal law. Shock. And more importantly, let me start at the base level. Literally any human being can arrest someone for a felony. Did you know that?
Good
Ian?
to know.
Any adult or any.
Ian, if you watch someone commit a felony, you can perform a citizen's arrest. It's a real thing. It's common law.
So, do you have to be over 18? Are you aware?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure you don't.
Okay.
Like the idea is, if
I'll look it
anyone
up.
witnesses a felony, you can stop the person from doing it. However, the issue is if you're wrong, you can get sued. Okay, let's go again. 8 U.S.C. 1357 grants ICE agents the authority to conduct all immigrations and custom-related law enforcement and anything in its periphery. That means they can conduct traffic stops. This means that they can, if they believe you are in any way committing any crime related to customs, not just immigration. Here's the best part. Within 25 miles of any U.S. border, they can enter your vehicle without a warrant. It's a special power. Special power. So if you are in San Diego, ICE agent can walk up to you and say, "I'm getting in your car right now." Mm-hmm. They are allowed to do that. So these liberals are like, they can't perform traffic stops. They can walk up to your RV and say, "I'm coming in." Duh, to make sure you're not trafficking people, right? Here's the best part. The law also says they can enforce any U.S. law explicitly. As federal agents, they can enforce any federal law. So imagine the retardation that must persist for you to believe they could not say, out of the vehicle, you're under arrest. The argument in the Daily Show with this woman who's talking to Jon Stewart, he says, but can't they arrest you for obstruction? She goes, but they can't perform traffic stops. It has to be serious obstruction. Oh, kind of like being trained by ICE Watch to obstruct and assault officers and then being reported by witnesses to have been leading a protest to obstruct their vehicles from engaging in law enforcement activities. Clear-cut obstruction. And they can stop you. They can pull your vehicle over if they think you're in violation of immigration or federal law. Meaning, if they see a vehicle with out-of-state plates with drugs, they can pull you over. If it's interstate, evidence of an interstate crime of some sort. Here's the most important thing. I'm going to ask you this, Ian. Do you think that if an ICE agent witnessed a man shoot a child in the head, he has the authority to arrest him?
Yes.
He does. But that's a state law. How can they enforce a state law if their ICE agents limited powers? Because anyone can perform an arrest on an individual for committing a felony.
Would he be doing it as a federal employee, or would he
Yes.
be doing it as a citizen's arrest?
Yes. And the law then says he turns them over to state authorities. So the liberals are making this stuff up to radicalize retards and justify engaging in violence and threatening the lives of federal agents. But go ahead.
Just to tap it off, you don't technically have to be 18 to issue a citizen's arrest. I think it depends on the state, though. It depends on state by state. Jersey, you got to be 21. Yeah, well, I saw the second video. I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday, maybe, or last, about this shooting. The second video, the guy got thrown back. I mean, it looked like he literally was assaulted by the vehicle. So
Can I talk about Title VIII a little bit, like what you just mentioned? I love that you brought that up because I see in the argument of conservatives trying to defend ICE, they never actually can reference Title VIII, which lays out all immigration law. And when I reference that and I cite it when I'm talking to liberals every single week, they will not listen to me. They think that it's illegal for them to wear a mask on their face. That's not illegal. It's actually not even illegal for them to not read them their Miranda rights if they're being arrested.
No. Miranda rights is a fake thing that's always been fake. And liberals, there's a famous video from Occupy where a woman is going, I have not been read my rights. That's a fake thing.
Well, especially when they're being arrested under a civil and an administrative thing. So there are warrants for their arrest that are administrative that they just get from their supervisor. And then there's ones for criminal things. But if you really look at Title VIII, they have the power to do what they're doing. Everything is justified. And it is so annoying.
Miranda rights are only read at the discretion of the officer if they intend to question you. If they don't intend to question you, they will not read you your rights. Often they'll read you your rights at the department if you're being arrested if they think they need to question you. There's a funny video where some guy's yelling at a cop, you never read me my rights. And he goes, I'm not questioning you. And he's like, you got to read me my rights. And he goes, I watched you commit the crime. No, I don't. And then the other thing, too, is I want to play this video for you guys.
Why did you have me bullets?
I'm going to play that for you again. I want you to listen. She says, why did you have real bullets?
Why did you have real bullets?
You see, here's what happened. Over the past several years, these liberals have been conditioned to believe that the riot control actions they've experienced are law enforcement. They're engaging with armed federal agents seeking narco gangs, MS-13, criminal cartels, and often just general criminals. But this is criminal law enforcement, not community affairs. So when these liberals show up to a protest and they see a cop with a truncheon, there's no real bullets. When they see a guy with a gun, he's got beanbags or expanding foam rounds. But these people have decided to engage with federal law enforcement who are trying to arrest serious criminals. She said, why did you have real bullets? Why? It's a game. It's always been a game. You see, this is the problem with riot control weapons. We have created an environment where these people know there are no consequences to rioting. If they go out and smash up a storefront and set it on fire, they know their worst case scenario is, despite the fact they've killed and will kill again, they'll only ever be hit with a beanbag. In the George Floyd riots, 30 plus people were killed, and the police that engaged the rioters used less lethal munitions. When these people go out to engage the feds on law enforcement operations, they're treating it like it's crowd control community affairs. In fact, in many cities, the community affairs officers don't even have weapons. They're just walking around in jeans and windbreakers. They're playing a game.
Imagine being so delusional. And it's probably not even their fault, but they join these ICE watch groups that literally tell them to do this. And it's like, who is responsible for brainwashing these people? They're so delusional that they really think that a federal officer's gun does not have real bullets, so there's supposed to be fake bullets in there?
They thought it was a game. And I'm not saying it to be cute. I am telling you quite literally, when these liberal middle-aged women show up to ICE Watch, they think they're playing red versus blue. They think they're playing paintball. They don't understand. I went to Glenn Beck's studio several years ago. And it's amazing, the Blaze Studios. They have a bunch of old newspapers on the walls. Like, you go to the bathroom, walk out, you go to the green room, you walk out, and they have these old newspapers. And I read one of them. And it was an old 1800s newspaper where it said that a man was outside of a saloon when another man walked up and put a pistol to his chest and pulled the trigger, killing him. And they never found out who it was. And I'm just like, man, it was crazy back then. It was wild back then. Life or death. Today, we got a bunch of soft cookie dough people who don't understand the harsh realities of the world. And we are dealing with an escalation of political violence and conflict. So when they laugh and celebrate Charlie Kirk being murdered, it's a TV screen to them. They don't actually understand. Charlie Kirk was shot and killed and bled out in front of his friends. And this puts the whole country at jeopardy. They watch that through a screen and they laugh. They've never seen it. That's the first time this woman's ever experienced any kind of heightened threat. We've talked about this years ago with the woke, how they got offended by words. And I pointed out that, listen, if you've never been in a fight, if you've never been threatened, if you've never been in a life or death situation, and literally the worst pain you've ever felt is being called stupid, you will be going, it's the worst pain I've ever felt. And then if you're some dude who's just been like mercilessly beaten your whole life, you're going to be like, dude, I don't care what you call me. Or more importantly, if you're like a combat veteran or PMC, you're going to be like, you can call me whatever you want, dude. It does not boil my blood in the least. I've been shot at. This woman and these people, the worst thing they've ever experienced is like getting pushed by a cop. And that's the extent of what they think is possible. So when Michael Malice says people don't understand how much worse it could get, it's a statement to all of us and to these people. So I plead with you all to understand this. When we look at this woman and she goes, why did you have real bullets? And we laugh, saying, the naivete of the middle-aged liberal. Understand there are many conservatives who can recognize this in this woman, but not in themselves. What it means if these people actually win. And what it means to have, like, I don't know, you get arrested for no reason and they literally flay you alive and torture you in front of your children, because that happens, and worse. Worse things are possible.
I wanted to go to Hong Kong. There were protests 5 years ago or something. I didn't, but I heard that they were spraying protesters with like, it's water mixed with like some burning, pepper spray and dye, blue dye, and they'd take fire hoses and just spray the crowd. So everyone who was there, not only would they be in agony with their skin burning, you could tag them and find them later. And I wonder, like, how comfortable people here are with that kind of crowd control. It's just like to see how real it can get. I kind of wish that I had been in Hong Kong. Things played out fine the way they played out, but I don't know, just to get a taste, to remember that we don't live in fantasy land.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.